Welcome to 40 and y'all. It's your boy Ryan.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kiki.
We're your newest favorite podcast. Thank you for joining us here.
Yes.
We're here clowning. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing.
Listen, I'm in awe because as always, you look amazing, but we should look at the live. We just went live. You did not look like that.
No, I was looking like a hot ass mess, y'all. I was looking like a hot ass mess. I was in my house shirt.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're at the end of Feb.
We're at the end of Feb.
Yeah, it's been a month. I'm gonna say it again. Happy Black History Month again, y'all.
Yo, if you want to know, if you want to a little pick me up, go check out any Target, TikTok, or Instagram post in the comment section.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna learn real quick. You fucking around and found out.
Fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Other than that, good. Just been doing. We've been traveling.
You've been traveling. I've been here.
Yeah, well, traveling.
That's a shift.
It has been. Usually it's the reverse.
Yeah.
So yeah, just catching my bearings to get ready to leave again tomorrow. So listen, on the road again. But other than that, good.
Dope.
Still on sabbatical. Still, working on my own shit, my personal projects in school, and
I'm excited to talk about. We're gonna talk about that later on in the show. I'm excited. Just about. I feel like some of the clarity that came to you through that.
Yeah.
So.
Let's do your check-in.
My check-in. I'm good, y'all. It feels good to be home.
Yeah.
I'm here. I missed you. It was just me and the dogs.
Yeah.
Came back. I thought I did good. I didn't, y'all. If you're in a relationship, you know that. She came back and she was like, you didn't do this. You didn't do that.
Correction.
You didn't do this.
Correction. It wasn't I didn't do good. Before I left, I gave a set of directions and he tried to shut me down.
First of all,
you act like I don't know.
No, hold on.
He halted. Halt.
No, so hold on. You say that like you're like, oh, you were just like, hey, baby, can you do this? And then, like, nah, you were like,
no, I was running it down.
Bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, yo. And some of it was like, hey, don't forget to turn the lights off. Don't forget to do this.
It was never to that.
I ran a household. Goddamn.
We know the type of household you ran.
That's how you feel?
A flop house.
That's how you feel? I did not. Don't do me.
Nah, he did good. Did he do great?
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
He missed a few details.
You're OCD as fuck. That's what this is.
Yeah, but there's things you must do within a week's time, and you didn't do all of the things in a week's time.
You weren't even gone a week. You were gone 6 days, not a week.
I was gone Saturday
to Friday
to damn near Saturday
to Friday.
That's a week for me.
To Friday.
But
you're talking about the refrigerator right now. Listen, I was gonna clean it out once we got new groceries. That's when we cleaned it out.
Trash day was Tuesday, so
they was all out there.
No, the regiment is
God.
we empty the fridge.
I'm
we
not
throw
doing this with
yeah,
you.
Y'all,
we
ain't even finna get into it. He did good. Did he do great?
All right, so we talk about our communication. That's one thing. This is a great little setup for this. I wanted to do one of the things that we do when we're not on the podcast, our little check-ins, because we talk our shit about our communication and whoop-de-whoop. So one of the things that we do is stop, start, continue.
Yes.
So here we go.
This is Ryan's favorite.
This is my thing. It's how I check in. Yeah. So what do I need to? No, matter of fact, we're going with you first. We're going with you first. What would you like me? What would you like to start with? We're going with you. What do you want to know first?
You want me to answer? What are you saying?
No, I'm gonna tell you. All right, what you can start doing.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
You start doing?
Tell me what I can start doing.
No, honestly, you do a really good job. You can start calming down.
Reel it in.
Yep. That's what you could start doing.
Okay.
You could start doing that.
Received.
Okay. Continue being your amazing self.
Well, I ain't calming down then.
Find a balance in there. And stop. What can you stop doing? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Spazzing?
Changing your makeup 14 times before we're about to record.
I didn't change my makeup.
You put on a whole different makeup because of the outfit. You said you had to put on the makeup.
I decided to put on makeup. I was like, oh, my hair is looking a little rusty, dusty. It's not fresh, so I got to put a little face on, just to...
I thought you said you switched up your makeup to match the outfit. No, I switched up.
I was like, what am I going to throw on? Because, I was in my little house dashiki, and then I was like, well, I need to put some clothes on. So, to give y'all some background, we're recording on a Sunday evening. And so, Shorty was in PJs all day. No, I did get dressed earlier.
You got dressed.
To go pick up Kennedy from the airport. And then I de-dressed when I got back in.
De-dressed. De-dressed. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. De-dressed.
So, yeah. It's your turn?
My turn. What can I start with? What can I start doing?
You can start.
You're about to say something crazy, yo. Something smart.
It's kind of smart, but
go ahead.
I feel like this is like a trending thing with you. Paying attention to details.
Listen.
He lacks details, y'all.
Listen. I'm going to do this like we normally do.
He lacks details.
I received that. There's truth in that. And there's an end to this. Your level of detail is not normal. Can I get that acknowledgement?
But for him to be a scholar in the school of Key, he should know these things about me and what the expectation is. And we live normal. And we live together. But damn it, you fake it till you make it. At least like it is what it is. So start to pay attention to them details.
Received.
What's the next one?
Let's go stop.
Stop.
We're gonna end on a positive
note. Stop. I don't really have a stop.
That's always good to hear.
I don't have a stop.
That's good to hear.
Continue.
Yep, continue.
Continue to be your amazing self. I'm gonna steal yours.
You are biting.
I'm gonna steal yours. I love.
No biting allowed.
I love. Okay, authentic. Continue to be your authentic self. He's gonna, eat pickles out the jar, out the fridge.
I sure am.
With his little meat and cheese, no plate.
Nom, 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 nom. No, hold on now. I use plates. You got the little small paper plates and the little boats. Those are bomb.
Use one plate, and then the rest of that you just grabbed your napkin and.
I'm gonna start taking pictures of it and send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, while you're gone, I use plates.
Okay.
I did. I promise. I'll take that.
Those are. That's my check-in.
I'll take all of that. I feel like this might just be the revolving door of our check-ins. Pay attention, damn it. Calm down, damn it.
Yes.
This is what it is. Y'all, if you're in a long-term relationship, you probably resonate with a lot of that. Like, damn, there's just these things.
Yeah. No, but it's an awesome way for those I'll just say dating in general, if you have hard times, like conversation starters, they're great convo starters. Like, we used to always just, like, that would be our thing.
We still do it.
I mean, it's still our thing, but like that was like the thing. Like, okay, you could kind of say what you needed to say.
Yep.
If you couldn't say what you needed to say, just we're both really bold. We're very outspoken. We don't got them problems.
No, for sure. But
yeah, great convo starters.
Yeah, I think you really do have an unnatural attention to detail. You be talking about the back of the refrigerator handle.
That's a lot of germs on there. People, you're touching it.
You see
you're
what
cooking,
I'm saying, people? You see what I'm saying?
Slinging, we're messing with dogs.
The back of the refrigerator handle, yo.
You wipe it off. So when y'all grip the fridge hand, if you have stuff on your hands, if you're in the midst of cooking or whatever, kids are touching shit. Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't. This is what I'm saying.
Wipe.
I will give you this, is that there's nothing that you have ever asked me to do that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just normal people don't ask for that shit to be done.
Normal people are nasty.
Okay.
They're germy.
All right. And on that note, we're gonna move. We're gonna move to blended blessings. You want to go first, or you want me to? Yo, this is that blended blessings segment. We do this blended family thing. Let me start because I got a little blended family update.
Okay, kick it off.
Co-parenting is still a trip. But there's some, I would say, a conversation that many of y'all might be having. We co-parent from a distance. And so with all these planes falling out the sky and all that, we had to have a round of that. And so I just want to offer strength and all that and good thoughts to everybody maneuvering new anxieties around that, for sure.
Yeah, facts.
No, but and that leads to my blended blessing, which is Zoe is about to be here in 13 days, I believe was the countdown. Yeah, just talked to her. She just said good night because we're recording late. So she's got school in the morning. She's getting ready, wrapping up her. I think they do. Quarters is what they're on. I think it's like 3 intermissions.
Okay.
So she'll be here for 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm super excited for that. It's about that time. Mm-hmm. It has been wild. I say this all the time, is that we're gonna do a Patreon exclusive. We gotta do that.
Yeah, the part 2.
A little just like a co-parenting, all the tea.
Yeah.
Like all that. Yeah. So no, that's my blended blessing though, is Zoe gets to be here and I'm excited. I'm excited to spend time with her. She asked, and I know this pissed her mom off. She was like, "Can Kibi do my hair?" And all that. She's excited. She wants to see Kennedy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see her.
Yeah. Always a good time. Love when she can come home, our second home, and we get our QT and just able to pour into her in person. Always good vibes, good times. My blended blessing. Actually, I'll say it's a 2-part.
Oh.
So when I went back home, hometown to bring Kennedy for her spring break, or they were on winter break and they didn't winter break. And I was also there to support my aunts. Mm-hmm. Went and slid on your parents. And so,
they were so excited.
I come bearing gifts. I'm a gift giver. And so number one, my aunt was just like, number one, my aunt and your mom totally fuck with each other.
Yeah.
So just the exchange of send Mary my love and her how's Tanya, do you need anything? But like genuinely, right? It wasn't just like, it sounds good, just like genuinely, well, if she needs something, I can come through. But my aunt was just like, damn, how dope is that? Like, that's nice of you, like, oh, you're going to pick up cafe latte and take it over there. Like, oh, I know Ryan's just through the moon. And I'm like, yeah, so they're my people. Like,
love it.
He don't have to prompt me to go over there. Like, I make the time, like, yo, I may not be able to spend a lot of time just because I'm trying to, squeeze a lot of people into a little window of time, but definitely gonna make sure I go check on the parents. So that was dope.
I appreciate it.
And then also me having to leave again. Being in a partnership where it's like, yo, I checked in with Kennedy, like, hey, I gotta take off tomorrow, kind of impromptu. You gonna be straight? And she's like, oh, yeah. Like, we're good. Told you a little something about you and your driving. Like, and called it a day. But it feels good to be in a partnership where it's like, no, I know, number one, my child is like safe, sound. Like, I don't have any type of anxiety, doubts, concerns, besides my home being clean. That's about it.
You're going to keep taking shots. Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
You should feel good. I don't have quite listen.
I do feel good. I don't feel no
other type of way.
I do feel good. So I'll take that.
So yeah, so that's definitely a blended blessing. And yeah, to bring it all the way home, like the girls haven't seen each other. So looking forward to the spring break and just having our family time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Will this won't be the first time that it's me and Kennedy solo, but it doesn't happen often. But when it does, it's always cool.
Yeah. I'll say for this amount of time.
Yeah.
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 Few days.
But no, we're going to hold it down.
Yeah.
Take care of business. It's cool that the roles are reversed a little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. All right. Speaking of business.
Stay tuned, y'all.
We'll see what happens. This is the setup. Mm-hmm. Speaking of business, let's pay some bills. Hey, if you're watching this and you're like me, you like a little pick-me-up, make sure you go check out appalife.com. They are organic, natural, mushroom energy shots. They're going to get you with the focus, the energy, the clarity that you need to get through the day without that sugar crash, without the caffeine. My favorite flavor right now is ginger lemonade. Make sure you go check that out. appalife.com. Use the code 40AND, FORTYAND. Get yourself 30% off.
Yes.
I'm super excited for that ad and for this because the founder and CEO of Appa is my homeboy who I watched get this from the mud all the way. He's founder and CEO of Appa as well as Botany.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Botany later. But it's a good segue to our topic tonight, which is about business.
Yes.
And so when I met you, you were on this. We were both, I was just starting to come into this idea of like entrepreneurship, working for myself, being my own boss. But you were on it.
Yeah.
You were like, no, I run my own interior design, House of Hue. I got this other thing, like your 9 to 5 was your side gig.
Yeah.
Right. Like what you
keeps
did.
the lights on.
Yeah. What you did was build this business. And, it's been dope to watch it grow, for us to be on this journey. It's been dope to have a partner who's on this journey.
Yeah.
But I want to take it back to the beginning, way back in the time. What was your first real job?
My first real job?
Yeah.
Like just being in the work field in general, like teenage job or first young adult job?
Wherever you want to go with it, whatever you think would be interesting.
Say we'll say first young adult, because let's just get into our adulthood. My first real job was working at a collection agency.
Oh shit, you were the people that I cussed out.
Probably. But okay, so there were some perks to that though, because then you learn about like when someone can write off debt and the do's and don'ts of what you say to even affirm that, confirm that's your debt. Like, and it was commission based. So if you know how to sell, you making money. You get people to pay some old debt that should have been written the fuck off. You get some money. So kind of learned that hustle and just learned just the laws around that. But it was like, that wasn't my passion. It was like, this is the first job, that was a dog making like $13 plus commission. That wasn't shit. But at 19.
What year was that?
I was 19.
19, okay.
Yeah, at 19.
So like
19,
2003, 2004?
I graduated in 03, so that was probably like 04, 05.
Yeah.
Because I had did like CNA stuff. Because initially I wanted to be a pediatric nurse.
Okay.
And so I went the medical route. My passion had always been interior design, but I didn't know the full scope of it. I only thought it was like residential. And I just didn't do all the research because when I decided not to go to art school, I didn't know like, well, it doesn't pay a lot. I knew that like, it doesn't pay a lot. And we are taught, hey, you want to graduate from high school, you should go to college, or if you pursue a business, how do you get to the dollar bill?
Yeah,
and so
sure.
I was very money driven. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the old American way. I'm going to work my way up this ladder. And you know what I'm saying? And so from there, I got into medical administration. So just scheduling. I worked for Health Partners. I worked for Health Partners for a long time and just worked my way up through that. And I was making good money, had good benefits. Was a complex scheduler to getting into like more of the billing and stuff like that. Worked for the sleep center. So I loved it. Sleep center turned into now I'm doing medical equipment. So I'm doing like lactation stuff and
scheduling for them, or what were you doing? No,
like coordinating stuff, billing and ordering. And, you know what I'm saying? So always, medical admin stuff, scheduling patients, that type of stuff. And then left there, worked for U of M physicians, very complex scheduling. That's when I worked for a sickle cell physician. So managed all their calendars, all their schedules. Also, it was connected to an oncology clinic.
That's one. Yeah, because you were at the Masonic Center, right?
Yep, that was at Masonic. And that was like my hardest because I was now pregnant at this stage. That was the hardest. But as you continue to move in the medical, like I loved it because I learned different aspects of it. And to know like behind the scenes. Yeah. So now like when my people are like, nope, you want to say this or ask your insurance company for this or that, or so it was kind of like for me the best of both worlds because I had some of the hands-on training in terms of how to care for a person, the essentials, the basics.
Yeah.
But now to know what makes the wheels on the bus go round and round, which is that money part. Everything's about getting paid.
No,
it was golden. You know what I'm saying? So now I could do both. Actually, we need the provider to do this. I'm gonna ask these questions. So, in hindsight, I was like, damn, it definitely had set me up just to deal with a lot of personal things in terms of families, grandparents. You know what I'm saying? When people have questions about certain things, like, nope, you want to ask this. This is what we're looking for. Because I never fully, after not being hands-on doing patient care, I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about body fluids anymore. Like, I know
how you feel about body fluids.
Yeah, like, no. So then I was like, oh, I want to like be like a medical office manager. Like, let me just keep working it up. And then I'm just like, I started working at the methadone clinic. And
how'd you go from that, like the complex scheduling medical supply to methadone clinic?
I knew nothing about methadone. I was on maternity leave.
I was gonna say, because you left Masonic because you couldn't deal with like the cancer and and all that, right?
I knew when I went on maternity leave, like I said, I knew number one from being pregnant and being extra hormonal and just hosting a body, like hosting a baby. Yeah. I was like, this is not for me. That was one of the most, and I'm like, like I said, I wanted to be a homicide detective at one time. I'm like, I can deal with some shit. That was a time, a space and place where I'm like, this is hard for me. Because you would get really attached to regular patients. You're seeing these people every day. They're coming in for labs and infusions and radiology I might come back and 2 of my patients had passed. Or, you're seeing people at the start of their chemo regimens, like a weekend, to seeing it through and just kind of seeing that person physically, mentally, spiritually change. It was too much for me at that time. So I was like, I can't do this. So, I was like, oh, I could do this. I can be a financial coordinator. I know how to do this shit. Didn't know nothing about methadone till I fucked around and found out. A legal trap house. It was jumping at the trap house every day, and I loved it. There was never a dull moment. I'm very much a people's person. I love...
You catch some characters there for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't know, I didn't know about drugs like that. So I was like, I didn't know Asians was doing opiates. I didn't know the history of it for real. Yeah. So it was like little grandmas in the parking lot with a crack pipe.
Man, there's nothing
smoking opiates out of it. I'm like, oh, this shit is real. You look real traditional. What the fuck?
Nothing exposes just how ridiculous racism is than when you look at drug addiction and see that it ain't.
No one is
all exempt. Of us got it. All of us got it.
And it was so crazy. And it was the most bittersweet, beautiful mistake, right? Because it's like, we're just all human here. Everybody's here for the same motherfucking reason. Y'all all are in recovery, you know what I'm saying? At different levels of it, but all walks of life. Lawyers, doctors, judges, physicians, bus drivers, everybody, trashmen, stay-at-home moms, everybody. And so it was humbling because you would just hear different life stories. But I loved it. And I'm like, that's the most, I felt like them people, they fuck with me. They loved the hell out of me.
I'm sure they did.
And I was like, oh, I'd feel bad for somebody damn, I wish I could just help you out, let you stay in my basement. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. Yeah. But from there, working there is what kicked off me and the big homie. We're like, we need, we were noticing the biggest issue with people in recovery was housing, especially in the world of methadone. that is ostracized within the world of recovery. That's like you're substituting one drug for the other. You're not really sober. So discrimination with housing was a big thing because people who got carryouts, if you're carrying out your doses, you have to.
So you could leave the clinic with methadone.
Yep. So those are people who had been on the program for X amount of time. Now you're trusted, right? We know you're not abusing. You get to take out, they could take anywhere from 2 to you had people who done really well where they were monthly. They were coming into the clinic once a month, check in with their case manager, pick up their doses, and go about their business. The one thing I didn't like about the methadone clinic, they never, which we know this was the plan, they never had an end game. Like, we want you to get here, and then now how do we get you to taper off so now you don't need this?
Yeah. They're trying to make money, manage it, not cure it. Yeah.
Absolutely. But that just sparked off like, we got to do something. And so that's when we were like, yo, let's get a housing program popping. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Rooted in Native values. That's a whole another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, partner was Native and Black. And that was just a population that people just leave. They don't touch on any of it. So that's what sparked us starting the 501c3. Boots to the ground, got that shit popping in 2015. And that's a lot of work. People don't don't understand.
You getting into the next parts of our conversation.
Okay, well, I'll hold off. But yeah, from that I got back on my design shit because I'm like, well, we're gonna get a house. And in my head, I'm like, oh, this house needs to look like this. It needs to feel like this. Well,
okay, let's just go with it. Like, because the next part is like, the question was that we're gonna ask was, when have you started over? And so it doesn't sound like you necessarily started over. You just transitioned into part of, you saw an opportunity to tie in your passion.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, when we were, obviously seeking a house, I'm just a creative person naturally. So even just coming up with like mood boards and visual concepts of even just shit for like, we'd go to tabling events. How do you make this table aesthetically pleasing for people to come up and want to talk to you? Hey, what is this organization about? Right.
So, but you're starting a 501c3 focused on housing.
Yes.
And at the same time, looking for ways to interweave your passion for design?
Well, that's what kicked it off. Besides my own house, right? I'm just like, oh, when we get this house, our goal was like, hey, we want to house, if we can house 5 to 10 women, and this was transitional housing. So it wasn't meant for it to be long term. It was supposed to be kind of like, a stepping stone. Yeah. Like, you're here, you're going to have to phase out after X amount of time because we want to get you here. Mm-hmm. But in doing that, we're like, we took so many tours to so many GRH homes and different women's programs.
What's GRH?
Group residential housing.
Okay.
So kind of like a group home for adults, if you would say. You know what I'm saying? Boarding homes or shared space. So
no, I know lots of like addicts who are in those spaces or in recovery,
re-entering into society from jail, just what have you. Mm-hmm. And you go, it sucks because you go to these spaces and I'm like, well, how do you teach anyone to value something when you got bunk beds donated from some fucking old ass summer camp? You had, just the things that were put in place to, like, I know these people, they already don't have much, but how do you teach them to value what you do have? By giving them a piece of shit and you want them to not fuck up the piece of shit?
Yeah.
Like, this shit's raggedy. It's dated as hell, right?
What do you think about, so when I hear that, I think of like, it ain't even necessarily about teaching anybody to value things that they have, but rather themselves.
Absolutely.
And that you are of value, and therefore, when you believe you're valuable, you teach your things like they're valuable.
Absolutely.
Like when you have ownership over something, or like a stake in what's happening, whether that's your home, your community, your car, whatever, you treat it better.
Absolutely.
Right.
As well as mental health and interior designer go hand in hand. So if you're in a space that feels good, looks good, well, your mind's going to feel good, look good. If it's organized, if it's well put together, even certain colors are going to invoke a mood. So none of these places ever had that. They just have a dirty ass room with flat paint that you can put a handprint on. Here's a bed. You know, you have your essentials. You have a bed. You have a laundry basket. There's a little kitchen, a shared space over here. You know what I'm saying? And
you light up when you talk about that,
man, because I love it.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, look, we have children, right? And we're teaching them how to care for their things. Like, hey, we work really hard to provide a house and to give you nice rooms, this, that, and the third, and you're to keep up with it. So my thing is, you can do the same thing with anybody. You teach them. Like, this is what it's going to be. And I'm good at balling on a budget. So my thing is like,
you
didn't have to pay a lot of money for some shit to look nice, and it still could have looked nice. And I feel like that's another piece of giving somebody hope, right? Like, damn, I could have some nice shit. I'm not coming out like, yeah, I ain't on the street, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. So I was very excited about that piece. Like, yes, we were going to help people, but to like help them, you know, the hope would be to help them in the long run. Like, oh, you came into something very sacred, very beautiful, very vibey. You too, like, you're learning to maintain that. You too can create that now when you leave here. That was my thing. So I was looking forward into that. And unfortunately, COVID hit. Contracts never really got solidified, and budgets got all, you know, haywire and shit. And so we never fully got that house off the ground. We did design a dope ass pilot program that never just got a chance to take off. So with that, I just was like, all right, word of mouth project. So that's when I really got House of Hue popping and was able to create the website and start my portfolio just from doing people's nurseries.
So what was it though that when you were like, so you were thinking about interior design in regards to the 501c3?
Yes.
What was it that was like, nah, I'm about to go get House of Hue cracking? Because the 501c3 was not House of Hue.
No, that was the Wolves Den. 501c3 was the Wolves Den. I came up with House of Hue because the piggyback off of that was when me and cousin wanted to get our nail and beauty bar popping. And so House of Hue came when I decided to do that project solo. Cause I was like, I wanted to create, and y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I don't do nails. I love them.
Not ladies and gentlemen.
Cause I don't do nails. I'm like, damn, bitch, you do nails too? Like, no, I don't do nails. I wanted to do a build out for a space that I'm always in.
Yeah.
Ladies, we are at the nail shop. Some of us weekly. Now I can go once a month. We go to a space and place that nobody looks like us. There's no representation of Black women besides a consumer. Yeah. And so I'm like, yo, it'd be really dope in the state of Minnesota to have a Black owned, that's not a solo suite or something like that, a space. A Black owned nail beauty bar, right? A place where the urban professional can come. I wanted it to be cell phone free. Like, hey, this is not for your phone. This is Summer Walker Sade radio. Let your hair down, chill, get your nails done. I wanted to hire dope ass BIPOC artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted people who did nails who look like us. In a space that was for us. Was working with NDC. Again, y'all got discriminated against in my own community for commercial space. So have funding on lock.
I wrote about it.
I have everything on lock. I just needed space. That was my holdup. And I wasn't going to take my idea and go to the suburbs. I wanted to be in my community. So if I could walk to my establishment, I'm going to walk if I needed to.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of open spaces that they didn't put my little Black ass in. And that's when, in the midst of that, I was just doing projects word of mouth. So friends' houses, I revamped plenty of people's spaces.
To bring it back, what were you doing for work at that time? Is that when you moved? So
I left.
You were at the methadone clinic.
Yep, and I started working for the county.
Why did you leave the methadone clinic?
They just got bought out by a different, I can't even say like a sister company, but yeah, that's a small world. And you know, with change, they're like, shit, we're trying to get all them out and put our people in these positions and all that. So when you start trying to come in and micromanage and, you know, I'm not opt to change. I'm always down for change. But when it starts to like negatively affect people to where you're trying to pick people apart and you're nitpicking about everything to where it's like, well, the reality is y'all already had a fucked up and broken system that we've been working in. Now you're not going to say this is our, our fault. So, when you know it's time, like it's time for a change. As well as I was desensitized to the environment. So I had heard some of the most horrendous stories, like SVU episodes. And so I'm like, I'm no longer fazed by this. For me, that's not normal. I don't ever want to be that desensitized where I'm like, well, yep. So, you got raped and what? And it was like, this is becoming to like, oh, okay, well,
how you gonna pay this?
Well, and that's the vibe they wanted to go with. And I'm like, that I'm not finna hold somebody's shit up because they don't have no money. You should be giving this shit away. It's y'all's problem. It's y'all's fault why they're here to begin with if you want to keep it a buck. But listen, don't let me get radical. And I was starting to get there. And so I just knew it was time for me to move around. And so, got with the county, was just doing straight admin, contract management, not working with participants. So it was bomb where I could kind of refocus and I didn't have to deal with people. So I didn't have to like spew out that energy. That's a lot of energy.
Where did you, because that's when I met you. You were working at the county. When I met you, and House of Hugh, like full circle when you were like, nah, county's the side gig. House of Hugh is what I do. How did you decide that like, no, I'm going to be an entrepreneur? Or did you always know?
Well, because I was seeing like my cousin had a detail shop and he's younger than me. And so, you always think like, damn, if his young ass is doing it, and like, you're not that smart. Like, you're smart, but you're not that smart. No shade, but like, I think we always downplay ourselves. For sure. You let fear talk you out of a lot of things, and then you doubt yourself, right? And so I'm like, this motherfucker's not even the brightest bulb in the box, and he got his whole shit popping. So I'm like, I could do this shit, right?
So what was your biggest fear? Or what is your big, like, because I don't know that fears necessarily go away.
No, I think it's always the fear of the unknown is for me, right? I'm very much a planner. I like to have all the plan A. We have blueprint A, B, C, D,
You a budgeter like a motherfucker too.
And so when you just feel like you're stepping into kind of that real unknown where I'm like, well, I don't know what plan to prompt. I don't know what blueprint to draw up because this is not my normal thing, right? But also it's like, it's time to step out of the normalcy and get into some new shit. Right. What is the new normal? As well as just getting more mature. I'm like, I want to do what I love to do. I don't want it to feel like work. That's the point I'm getting to. Like, I don't want it to feel like work. I don't want to be like, oh, here we go.
We're going to talk about that in the Patreon, so don't go too much into that. But
well, I'll leave it right there.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's really dope.
Did that answer everything?
I think so.
I felt like I went on a tangent.
Yeah. It answered the questions. It answered the questions. You get it's really dope for me to watch because you get really passionate about it.
I love it.
And I enjoy it. I learn something new about your story every time I hear it.
Yeah, I'm an artist at heart. And so like I'm excited to really tap into that. Like that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Do we have questions for you? We're not going to ask you the same questions. You're just
You're
just as long-winded as I am.
Yeah. I mean, mine was always a little bit different. My journey's a little bit different. I knew from 5th grade that I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
Miss Poliot, I think she might have been Miss Ramesir at that time. She got married at some point in there. But they did like you could teach a class for a day. And I got chosen, and I was like, nah, this is what I want to do.
You just want to tell everybody what to do, huh?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Honestly, I just was like, oh, I want to be a teacher. I think, honestly, it was just like, oh, I could do this? Okay. Right? Because what I really wanted to do was play professional baseball.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but I just wasn't good enough. And then it was like, oh, teach and coach. That was like so obvious to me, right? Like, there was never a moment where I was like, what am I going to do? it was always like, I'm going to go to college, be a teacher, be a coach, or when I don't play professionally.
Okay.
If I could play professionally, I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to coach and teach. Like, since 5th grade. That's what it was. I think there might have been a moment where I was like, I want to be an actor, or, you know what I mean? Like, some shit like that. But
not
like,
an actor.
I loved acting. I was the lead in I remember, I was I wasn't the lead. I was one of the leads in our little school play.
Oh.
And I had to wear makeup for it, and I did. And I remember practicing with my dad the lines and stuff. Like,
knowing you took this assignment so serious. I know it.
Want to be. I still. There's part of me right now down here in the A. Like, I'm about to go for an audition. Fuck it.
You're going to casting call?
Hell yeah.
Who is Junior?
Yeah. Who is Junior? Nah, but so I always wanted that. My first job was the education director at the Boys and Girls Club. Well, so the first job as an adult, right? Like, I was washing dishes when I was 12, came up in the restaurant business. Like,
we're not talking about our childhood.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I did all that. But like, my first job, I remember I had graduated with like $80,000 worth of debt and was making $28,000 a year.
That's crazy.
Like, wah. Me taking out payday loans to make ends meet.
That's how much I was making at the
Tiffany's
collection
account,
agency.
her putting money in mine. Yeah, like, just whack, right? And then worked my way up through teaching. Got the degrees to bump you up. I was never at a union school, so I never did like the steps and lanes. I just never was able to do that. But that was like, that's what it was, right? That's always what it's been, like, moved from classroom to building administration. And in some ways I haven't even shifted that, right? Like, I haven't, quote unquote, started over by opening Lear, but because I took all that stuff, right? It's still education, it's still that, but moving into working for yourself is that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right, especially now the work that I do is, depending on the day of the week and which judge you talk to and which administration, may or may not be illegal.
Facts. Ain't that shit's crazy.
Yeah. And so a lot of what you were talking about when you talk about starting House of Hugh resonates with me, where it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is not, I punch a clock, I get paid every 2 weeks. That's what I do. I can write a lesson plan. I can tell you best practices, but I don't know how to budget for, this and that, taxes, payroll, all this. Like, all of that was learning on a curve.
Yeah.
And Lear I've been doing Lear solo for 4 years now.
Yeah, I was like, you were talking about it, like you were just getting into it when we met, and I was like,
I was still at Hiawatha when we first started.
Yeah. Still had to,
and then worked at MPS.
The things that keep the lights on.
Yeah, worked at MPS. That was less because I needed to and more because I wanted to.
Yeah.
The restorative justice coordinator position during the uprisings. But then going solo was like, man. And I still like that. People don't understand. I've never been afraid of work, and I've never worked longer or more and more intensely than these last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've done, like, teaching isn't easy. I've done furniture moving. I've done, like, manual labor. I've done all these things, and it's like, I pop up at 3 a.m. with like, yo, I gotta work.
Yeah.
Let me write this email to myself so I don't forget what I just thought about that I need to send. Or like, let me schedule this email because I need to talk to this dude. And if I don't schedule it right now, I don't know if I'm going to get to it because I got a million other things I need to do in the morning. And I think for me, the hardest part is, and maybe this is, I'll touch on this more in the Patreon, but like the mindset of coming from a working class background and everybody around you being in a working class mindset.
Yeah.
Where it feels like, yo, you're living like delusions of grandeur if you think you can do this. That's been the hardest part for me. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the Patreon.
An exclusive.
Yeah, and I think my biggest fear is like, I don't know it's necessarily fear, it's just always like not making ends meet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's
now
real.
Being full-time working for yourself is like, damn, I don't know. Am I really good at it? Is this worthwhile? Do I know how to do this? Yeah, and we'll talk about like the ways that I combat that in the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, y'all, we would love to hear from you. What have y'all shifted careers? You know, I heard that people change careers like 3-4 times in the course of their lifetime.
Okay.
Which is, you know what I mean? Like, that's dope. Like, what have your transitions felt like? What have they been like? Let us know. Comment. Send us an email. Share some things.
Share some things with us.
You want to share some things with them?
Yes. So, you talking about a pick me up if you're looking for a set me down. You know, one of my favorite is a little Botany Farms, botanyfarms.com. You know, the quality cannabis they deliver. I'm still loving the pre-rolls. Like, I never thought I'd be the pre-roll girl because, you know, I typically love to, you know, break it down and roll it up. But, hey,
efficient.
Very less work. And again, when you get that quality floral, can't top it. So go on to botanyfarms.com, type in our code 40N, FORTYAND, get yourself a little discount and enjoy. Actually, hey, hit us up, comment, give us your thoughts on it. Like, please. Both for the botany and the apple. Like, I would love to know everybody else's perception of the goods.
Yeah, absolutely. Dope. All right, it's that time. This is my favorite segment.
We still don't have
because you don't have a sound for it.
I don't. I still don't have a sound, and I've been too busy to even think of one at this point.
We're not going with the Law and Order.
No,
the
not
SV.
that one.
We're not going. But it is the listicle, y'all. Everywhere we go, everybody loves a list. So we always wrap up this portion with a listicle, the top fives.
Top five.
Sticking with our theme for this episode, this listicle is the top 5 moments you know it's time to move on from your job.
Do.
So, baby, you get to go first. Number 5.
Number 5. When you're bored, you no longer have interest in what you're doing.
That would feel so tame. Like, yeah.
But there's a difference, right? Like,
tell me more.
So, like, because not saying like, okay, like what the work you may be doing, like this is the shit. But you know, you have a certain air. Like, okay, I'm finna put my music on. I got my snack. I'm finna bust this shit down, and then you get in your groove and you get your work done. Time goes by.
Yeah.
When you dreading that, where it's just like, unmotivated, uninterested. Like it no longer does. I can't even get in the groove.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I lied. My first job was not, after college, was not as the education director. It was as an operator at a suicide helpline for native in the Native community. It was run at a battered women's shelter right in downtown St. Paul, actually.
Wow.
And man, nobody called. And I'd be in there playing Minesweeper. So bored.
See?
So bored. Oh, God.
Wow.
Okay.
Random, but yes.
I worked at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, and I would sit at my desk and read books the whole time. Boring, yes. So when you're bored, it is time to throw deuces.
Yeah.
Yes. Top 5 moments you know it is time to move on from your job. Number 4, when you do not mind being late. When you are not stressed about running late, that job is not for you. It is expiring, yo.
That's when the excuses start getting more extreme. You're like, fuck it. Listen. 15 minutes turned into a half day. I was only about to be 15, but I might as well go ahead and go on to the nail shop.
Especially a motherfucker like me. I hate being late, so... If I'm late for work, you know, I'm like, yo, I'm about to be out this motherfucker anyway. I'm not going. You know, it's time to go. Fucks be at an all-time low. It's time to go.
Number 3. I'm going to get into number 3. Taking shortcuts. Just, giving them the bare minimum. Typically, I'm a gal who likes to give 120%.
Pride in your work and all that.
Absolutely. I got great work ethic. Absolutely. But when I start giving them 85, it's time to ride. It's time to ride. And don't get it twisted. The quality of the work is always going to be there, but, the time given might be like, And or I stopped giving the time. I'm not doing no extra no more.
That's real.
Sorry.
That's real. All right, y'all. This is the Listicle Top 5 Moments. It's time to move on from your gig. Number 2. And I've been here a couple times. When you're contemplating jumping your boss, putting hands on your boss, the man that signs your paycheck, it is time to move on. Mm-hmm. The cost-benefit analysis of that is not good. When you're contemplating physical violence, it's time to move on. Just give it up. It is not okay.
It's time to ride.
Yes. All right. So here we are. Number 1, top 5 moments. It's time to move on, baby. What is it?
Number 1, when they playing with the coins. When they trying to make you do too damn much for the money. It's just time to move around. It's time to move around. Actually, look, I don't even know who even put me onto this tip. I don't know. I think I might have read it in The Hustle or some shit. I don't even know. But you should look for a different job, same skill set, right? Or if that's what your thing is, every 3 to 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Versus to trying to work your way up in a corporation because you go somewhere doing what you're already doing. People want to get you. They'll offer you more money versus we just going to throw you this little increase. A
little cost of living increase that don't even keep up with inflation.
That ain't the cost of living.
You lose money every year.
Yeah. So that's when it's time to go.
So there you are, y'all. Top 5 reasons, top 5 moments. It's time to move on from your gig. Let us know what you think. What did we leave off? How do you know it's time for you to move on from your gig? Let us know.
Holla at us.
All right. We're at that time, y'all. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or YouTube, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Make sure you give this a like. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. All those good things. But our time is done. We got a little bit extra for the Patreon.
Yes.
Our time with you is over. We're very sad. Little single tear to see you go. You could always sign up for Patreon to continue this ride.
Get that extended version, y'all.
Before we go, once again, make sure you hit up Botany Farms. Make sure you hit up Appa. You could check out their links in the description of this. Get yourself 30% off by using the code 40 and FORTYAND. If you share this on social media, tag us. We will give you a free month of Patreon.
Absolutely.
You do have to tag us in it, though. Otherwise, we don't know that you shared it.
Yes.
And I don't mean you could share the whole episode. If you're on the YouTube, you could share that on Facebook. Please. Otherwise, we put up clips on the gram. We put up clips on TikTok. Share those. Tag us. We got you with the free Patreon membership. Last but not least, thank you, Tony, our producer. You're the shit, bro. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now's your time to jump off this ride. As you jump off, make sure you're living with
freedom, fun, and purpose. We love y'all.
Peace, y'all.